to the salon right now, but I guess it's as good as time as any to at least start this discussion about a topic that people have, kind of asked me to talk about for a while now, but I just didn't feel like, I don't know, I have my views on it, and I don't ever want to put my thoughts as law out there, so I just kind of keep my thoughts to myself on some stuff. But this one, I think it doesn't need to be talked about, because I looked around and I don't even see anybody talking about it, especially in an ethnic salon where I think we need to understand it the most, and that is compensation. And when I say compensation, I'm not trying to be fussy or smart, but maybe somebody don't know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, like, how do you get paid in the hair industry? And there are two very fundamental ways that we see a salon ran, and another reason why I didn't want to talk about it is because it's so lengthy, it's so layered, and it's viewed very differently from both sides of the coin. I mean, it's viewed differently from an owner's perspective. It's viewed differently from a stylist perspective. It's viewed differently from an owner who's never been a stylist. They have a different view on how they want to run it. And it's also, let me turn this down, it's also viewed differently from an owner who was once a stylist. That's where I am. I'm a salon owner that I've been a stylist more of my career than I've been an owner. I've only been an owner about 5 years. But I tell you, this last year in particular, man, I've seen so many things, and I've learned a lot of things. And I just have so much more respect for salon owners that are doing it correctly. Any business owner that's doing it correctly, because it's so very much, I mean, that's just an understatement, the things that you have to go through, licenses, products, oh my goodness, just so many things that you have to go through. But the two basic ways that we see these salons ran is, number one, in what we would call booth rental. Somebody else might call it independent contractor. And the other is commission, or a percentage-based stylist, or a percentage-based associate or employee. And they both have advantages to certain folk, and they both would have very definite cons in some people's eyes. I'm gonna be very, very unbiased, because I'm gonna tell you, I could easily tell you what I want to do as an owner, and what I think is even best for young stylists coming out today. And I'm even could tell you about two other ways, really, that we don't talk about enough. One is a salon suite that is becoming very popular in our bigger cities, where there's an office building, or this building with these units in it that has one dryer in each unit, or maybe two dryers in each unit, one styling chair, one sink, and a phone line, and a bathroom, you know what I mean? And you have your individual little small, what you would do in a booth at somebody else's salon. You get to work alone, maybe with an assistant, and that's your salon. It's your own phone line. You can call it what you want, you can run it how you want, and you pay someone rent, and they rent out. They might have a building that has 20 units, so it's 20 salons. You feel me? It's salon. It's called salon suites. I don't know if we have one in Columbus just yet. I don't think so. But they're very popular in bigger cities: Atlanta, New Orleans, Nashville, Miami, New York, those kind of places. And another way to look at this game is something that we don't see as much, but I think could really work if we did it properly. Because it takes the calculating every day, and how much do I make, and how much do I have to make in order to make more than the booth. I think if people are paid on salary, I know it sounds blasphemous, but it's an idea, man, that takes away a lot of it gets people back focused on the business focused on the work, you know. But that definitely isn't a popular one. The more popular in the ethnic salon realm is booth rental. Now, I think that one of the reasons why it's so popular amongst black stylists or ethnic stylists is because, like any other thing, a lot of times in our culture, and I'm just gonna be frank, we have a problem with working together. We have a problem with rank. And I don't think it's just a black thing, you know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like a cultural thing in this world right now. We have a problem with seeing the power in numbers, the strength in numbers. And I mean in businesses, in churches, in salons, barbershop, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Somebody said, well, man, I ain't really digging Johnny Joe. I ain't digging, Stacy, so I'm just gonna leave her shop and open up my own shop. Or I could work with you, but I don't want to be quote unquote controlled by you. So I'm gonna do my own thing inside of your thing. And the immediate supposed benefit is you get all of the money, or you can hold all of the money. Really, the exchange between you and the client. If you get a service that's $40, you get the $40. And as hard as you work, and as good as you're able to generate clientele, because at the end of the day, this thing is about clientele. That's it. Everything else is like, it's like a puff of smoke. That's not really why we're here. We're here to gain clients. We're here to, the root word of business is busy. That's something we need to think about. You know what I mean? The root word in business is busy. If you're not busy, I mean, what are we really doing? We kind of hanging out in the shop and spinning around in the chair, but that's not why I'm here, And if that's why you're here, then that's probably why me and you don't see eye to eye, I tell you what, I tell you how I did it when I was a booth renter. And I'm thinking about a particular salon that I worked in. Really my first booth, let me go there. Let me go to my first booth rental experience. I sat down with the owner and I put it like this, my first booth rental experience in a salon, because at one time I worked in a beauty and barber situation. And that was a little different. Not well, it was the same, but my official as a stylist, no clippers, was in a salon. And when I went in, I was given a station and a chair, a little place for storage, and a key. And even the key was upon signing a contract. But in some instances, there's renters that make you even earn the key. You know what I mean? Like the owner is there, so you don't need a key until you can really earn it. But in most instances, you're given a key, a station, a mirror, and a chair. Now that is what most of us, and unfortunately, man, in these schools, they are telling a certain type of student, and I won't go all the way there, but I hope you can hear it in my voice to hear what I'm saying. They're telling a certain client, or excuse me, a certain student to go to a booth. And they're telling a certain student in cosmetology school, because we all go to school together, but they're telling a certain cosmetology student to go to salons that have structured apprentice, a farm system where you rise up in the ranks. So we're really being told when we leave school to jump off the porch, man, and open up our own business. Even though we're not owning salons, owning a booth, dog, has some of the exact same principles as owning a salon. It's not the exact same thing now, but it has a lot of the same. It's definitely setting you up to consider what it's going to take to own a salon. So when I got there, man, all of the products I had to house, meaning my color, my relaxer system, my chemicals, my shampoos, my styling agents. If you had a salon that will allow you to retail, you had to house all of that. Now, the problem with that is, at the beginning, I was being very frugal. Of course, if I'm a young stylist, I'm not making no money, I cannot house all of the products that I really need. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna get the shampoo, but I'm gonna get the 8 ounce. You know what I mean? Because I can't really afford the gallon. I can't really afford all of the shampoos. I go to shortchanging a lot of times what I need. Not because I'm cheap. It's just because it's eating up so much of your profit. You know what I mean? In order to get supplies. Then you have to do your own marketing. So at the beginning, it's very hard, you know, as a booth renter to jump off the porch and do all of the marketing, all of the business cards. So you wind up getting inferior business cards. You wind up doing inferior marketing that you can afford. And if you're fresh out of school, you really can't afford much, you know. You have to handle your credit card machine fees if you have that. At the beginning, we just got that. In the last 5-6 years, we began to really understand the power of having a debit or a credit card machine. You have to take care of, and another major thing that you have to take care of is you have to pay a booth fee to work at that booth. That, just like your car note, no matter if your car broke, Ford Motor Credit still want their money. So that left you at, before you could make your first dollar. Now this is the problem. A lot of booth renters didn't really I didn't fully got it. I got it quick though, but some people work for years and don't understand this and keep rattling off amount of money that they're making a week, but they're really not making that amount of money. Because before you make your first dollar that you can go home and feed your children with, you, in most instances, you gotta make, even in a small town, you gotta make about $300 a week, $400 a week, before you can really even make your first dollar. If you subtract your expenses, you got to make about $300, $400 a week just to work. So your $401 is your first dollar you bring it home. That's in most instances. It can get up there. It can get worse than that. Now, this is why a lot of people don't make it, and they wind up at Walmart, or they wind up, you know what I'm saying, working at the gas station or something like that. Is because that type of, I got to make this first before I can make this, is a lot of pressure at the beginning, man. So, and some people do it. I did it, you know what I mean? And I struggled, and I had to move back home, and, you know, I had to give up. I couldn't get the car that I really wanted. You know, I had to sacrifice. Now I can't go out this week. I did it, man. But today, hell nah, I wouldn't do that again. Hell nah, I wouldn't go through that process again. You know what I mean? I would really go another route. That's today. That's me in hindsight. Some people may not feel that way because they want the freedom to be able to say, I'm doing it my own. But I challenge whoever's watching this, you know what I'm saying, or I challenge the industry out there, because I get so many calls, so many requests to talk about this topic. Are we really wanting to do booth because we want the freedom to go hard? Or do we want booth because we want the freedom to go slow? What do I mean by that? Do we want the no ceiling so we can try to touch the ceiling? Or do we want booth because there's really no expectations? When I want to take off and go for 4 and 5 hours at a time, if I only want to do this amount of money this week, here's the mentality that's being said nationwide. Well, as long as I pay you my booth, you know, that shit there is frustrating, you know what I'm saying? Because that's our problem, dog, is we want to use that liberty that we have, or the freedom to be a booth renter, to be slacker. Let me just say it, you know what I mean? To be a slacker, to say, well, you can't really tell me to do things like you would do it or how you expect me to do it. There's no expectations because I'm my own boss. Oh my God, I'm so tired of hearing that. And I'm not even saying that, I may not even say that as a youngster, but I tell you, man, and I'm keeping it 100, and anybody that knew me along my rise, you know what I'm saying, can keep it real, you know what I'm saying? If you say anything otherwise, you would just be telling a lie. I really pushed it as an order of, there is no ceiling, so I'm going to go even harder, man. There were times I didn't even want no relationship, dude. I didn't even want the obligation of a car note. I didn't even want a crib like that. You know what I mean? I wanted the freedom to say, as much as I can invest in this industry, I want to invest every waking moment to keep learning, to keep going stronger, to keep promoting, to stay in the salon. You know, this idea that you just want to leave early every day, you know what I'm saying? And the idea that you know, we don't want to go as hard, especially as hard as we can, especially in an industry or in a world right now that has so many caps and limitations and, man, you know, furloughs or whatever that are pulling people's income away. We are still in an industry that tells us the more you do, the more you put in it, the more you get out of it, you know. So the idea to jump in this industry only to say I'm my own boss so I can do my own thing, so I can not work as hard, so I can work 20 hours a week versus 40 is just, it's frustrating. I wish y'all just get out the game, and I wish y'all just leave this industry, not my industry, but this industry that I love. Leave it alone. Go somewhere else, man, because it's giving us just a bad rap to people that are so very serious about this profession. But booth rent has, you know, so jumping out the block from school to be a booth renter, I think I don't encourage young stylists to do that today. If they ask my advice, I say no. I actually say no, don't do it. Go find, first of all, I wouldn't even tell you to go fresh out the block to a percentage. Now that I really understand, not thinking like percentage like I'm trying to go make $1,000. Like, honestly, that first year or 2 years, you should really look at it like a residency as far as I'm concerned. Like a doctor, you're not ready to go chop on somebody just yet. You know what I mean? A dentist, you ain't ready to just go running somebody root canal just yet. Go sit under somebody that really knows what they're doing, that has done it, that has paid bills, you dig? Like, that has taken care of families, that has, you know, that has been in the industry, man, a veteran that you can really learn from. But I could be just talking to a brick wall because people is like, you know, I'm ready to go. I never forget, I was at a school and I told the students, like, don't even think about getting into a booth. I mean, don't even think about opening a salon when you first got out of school. Don't even think about that. Like, you not even ready, dog, to open up a salon the day after you get out of school. And the instructors told me, don't tell my students that. And really, I haven't been welcomed back at that cosmetology school because I was telling her students, who she said was ready to go, that they weren't ready to go. And I think that's just, you're just crippling a bit. And I really blame some of these cosmetology schools and their discouraging encouragement. You know what I mean? They are really giving these young students a false sense of confidence. Not for talent. Don't be misled. They're talented, but talent and experience, man, it's just not the same thing. And it's very oftentimes connected to the same thing or misconstrued. So Booth, jumping out of school. Now, where does Booth apply? You know, 5 years in, after I've built the clientele, struggled, you know what I mean, to get people to follow me, to learn how to book, to learn how to get people to come back, because it's a talent just to make somebody come back. Anybody can have clients. You might be watching this and you had a client, but clientele, where you booked up, you know what I mean, you're doing 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people a day, every day, consistently, that's a skill. That's not for everybody, because first of all, that's not just talent. That's not what your hands can do. You gotta have intellectual. You gotta be intellectual in order to do that. You gotta be punctual. You have to be organized. You have to be professional. It's a lot of things. You have to be personable. You know, you have to have a good conversation game. You know what I'm saying? You have to have a lot of things in order to make somebody say, to make me a bill. My mission was to make my clients, to make me and my client's life a bill. They had rent or mortgage, car note, daycare, you know what I'm saying, utilities, and me. I wanted to be somewhere underneath, if not above some of them things. Real talk, you know what I'm saying? But definitely right below your necessities. I wanted to make my service so needed that they came running back to the business, or they made it a part of their budget monthly between them and their husband, you know what I'm saying, or them by themselves. Now that ain't got nothing to do with just your talent, dog. If you think it's just because you know how to do an updo, or just because you know how to lay some foils, that doesn't guarantee them coming back. Now, once you are able to do that, and you have what somebody would be a clientele, especially when you leave from one salon to the other, that's a very good test to whether people, you know, are these people going to follow you? You know, are they going to really follow where you're going to another situation? Are they going to follow you when you change your prices? Are they going to follow you when you change your hours? You know, man, are they going to follow you when you shift products, change products? You know, are they really into you? Once you get that, now being a booth renter works. Because now, you know, the average of what you're making a week versus whatever booth rent is, you really are, sometimes it can balance. And if you're really good, it can topple to where you're making way more than what you're doing in rental fees. So that's where booth rent works. Now, the problem is, you know, unfortunately, by the time that stylist gets to that level, they're never really connected to the salon concept. It's hard. It's hard. They are not. If it's Joe the stylist and he works at Rhythm, he's never really connected to my salon concept. You know what I'm saying? You're really a manager in a business that you're calling your own salon. I'm really just a manager. And I'm not even managing the people, because remember, they think they're their own boss. They say I'm my own boss. So you're not really, the people looking at you like, you can't tell me when to come to work. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell me what to charge. You know what I mean? Which really turns, it's really like a salon. If you got 5 chairs, it's a 5-chair salon, but it's really 5 businesses. Oftentimes in situations like that, it's 5 business cards at the counter. Everybody got their own business card. All the cards look different. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's station look different. They dress different. It's 5 different businesses in one business. Now, sometimes that works, but I realized that it didn't work for me as an owner. But on the same token, somebody said, well, you're contradictory because you did that your whole career. I did that up until I opened my salon. I don't think I was ever disrespectful. I know I was aggressive. I was ambitious. And I always wore the jersey. I always like to say, like, whatever team I was at, I definitely wore that team's brand. You know what I'm saying? In a lot of instances, I helped the team, or helped those salons come up with their branding, with their logos, with their marketing ideas. I was about that company. You know what I'm saying? I've told many salon owners that I worked for, like, yo, I didn't really have aspirations to even be a salon owner until the year before I opened. It wasn't like a lifelong dream. I really wanted to be a platform artist traveling the country. So while I was working in your salon, I wasn't trying to be the owner. I just wanted enough freedom to do my thing. But as long as I was there, like, whatever you need me to do, man, I'll be a soldier. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely had my own vision for myself while I was there. So that's not a negative thing. It's just there's no residual in that. You dig? When you stop working as a salon owner, you gonna get booth rent, but I mean, that's a very limited scratch to what they're making. And as a booth renter working in that environment, there's no residual that you can create out of that unless you get assistance or something like that. But quite honestly, y'all probably would do better working together some kind of way, because if both of y'all get sick, nobody making no money. You know what I'm saying? Your clientele ain't used to coming to me, and my clientele ain't used to coming to you, so nobody's really getting to the money. So booth got its pros and cons, but that's a way you can get paid. So you got to think about all the expenses that come with booth rent, and it's a lot. It's a lot of things you got to do. You know what I mean? If the liability is on you, you know what I'm saying? Your accountability for if the hairstylist is wrong, the owner don't eat that. You know what I'm saying? You got to deal with that, because the owner gonna tell you quick, yo, it's on you. There's some fees that come through as far as education. You got to pay for that. If what was I thinking about? A fine comes through from the board. Most salon owners that's in a boofing situation, they're like, yo, I'm not taking that hit. That's on you. So you're really naked, man. You're really by yourself. Now, if you know how to manage yourself and people and money and time, you can be great, you know. And I was a very successful booth renter, in my opinion. I up until the point that I opened. As a matter of fact, I was able to accumulate money, you know what I'm saying, in order to open my salon from renting. Everybody's not able to do that, but I bust my ass, you know what I'm saying. I worked hard. So that's rental. And there's other things. I'm just trying to be as unbiased as possible. Percentage. Now, this is the one that a lot of people have a negative connotation about. But then a lot of people more and more understanding they have more of a pot, or they're opening their mind to the idea, because it's a lot of groundwork, dog. It's a lot. Ooh, booth rental. There's a lot of hot days in Walmart parking lot, at the football game, marketing, trying to get it, because if you slow down, you could be sitting in a salon, dog, and the other person is slamming, but you are doing nothing, and nobody's even looking your way. You know what I'm saying? You sitting in there spinning in a chair, because if you don't get the marketing or the awareness out of yourself, it's not on the owner. They've done their part. They provided you a chair. That's it. That's all that they're there to provide you for. No education, no products, no marketing, no awareness, no branding, nothing. You know what I'm saying? Don't use my products. Put my products back. Let you use my products in a booth rental situation, make some money for it, but don't give me no money. Shit, that didn't work. You know what I'm saying? Let your client walk in the salon in a booth rental situation and you wasn't there. They might not be there. I bet you people touch my, you know what I'm saying? Oh my goodness. Oh, he ain't here, Ray ain't here. I got it. You know what I'm saying? I can take care of it, because everybody for themselves. Is every man for himself in barbershops and salons. That's just the game. So it's no team concept, is it? It's a free for all. Yeah, you got the freedom to do your own thing, but it's also the freedom of the people around you to, you know what I'm saying, to fill in any gaps that you leave as well. But in a percentage, or what we heard as the, commission, the commission stylist, which I definitely suggest younger stylists to consider. Either in an independent salon, chain salon, they're real, the pennies and the Cuts by Us of the world. People frequent those as well, you know what I'm saying? I didn't do that, but when I go back now, as far as if I came out, you know what I mean, and I had to get in a situation, it would be a no-brainer, you know what I mean? The first couple of years, at least, I would definitely wouldn't go through them 4-5 years of me understanding and stumbling and bumping my head doing booth. I would get in a commission situation, because all of the responsibility is on the owner, you know what I'm saying? And honestly, them first couple years, you really... I wouldn't have even really been looking for money like that. Not if I'm thinking lifelong career. Now, if you jump out of school and all you thinking about is money, then yeah, you probably want to go to a booth, because commission is going to always seem like somebody taking something from you. But if you're thinking about, I want a long career, you know what I'm saying? I don't want the quick fix. I want the long-term riches, you know what I mean? I really need to get out here and get some type of postdoc, like they did with in any other educational situation. Like I got my degree, I got my license, but I still need a year, if not more, of a transitional period where I learn how to transition from school, or from the house, or from the kitchen, or from another state, or from a salon maybe that wasn't as professional, into a real salon environment where I could see 10 a day. You know what I mean? Definitely from the school situation. I really want to get out here and learn how to do it. Percentage says, listen, the house is going to provide products. Top-notch products, hopefully. The house is going to provide marketing, the business, the company, the owner, if you will. They're going to provide brand awareness around the city. They're going to provide education, hopefully in salon education, as well as payments into entry. For instance, hair shows, Bronner Brothers, things like that. The company should pay for that. In my opinion, that's what I do, right? They're going to pay for your linen. They're going to pay for your utilities. They're going to pay for, to keep your environment. They're going to pay sometimes for a cleaning crew to come through and take care. They're going to pay assistants to help you in the salon. They're going to provide that. Now, in order to provide that, what they're going to do is their job is to help you fill up the chair that you're at. Now your chair is more of your station, but it's not really your booth like that. You're not paying for that. You're an employee. Now, people don't like that, because the old time we in school, everybody, if you go to salon, cosmetology school right now, and you ask the kids, what do they want to do? Everybody want to do what? Everybody want to open up a salon. I think that's what we supposed to say. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to open up a salon. I want 5 salons. I want 10 salons all around the country. And I'm saying it because I talk like that. Oh man, I wanted 10 shops. I wanted one in every major city, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, that's like saying you want 10 families. You want 10 wives or 10 husbands. You could do it. But bruh, you better be ready for what all that means. So, if all you thinking about is owning your own salon, and you go to a situation where somebody is saying, listen, I'm going to take care of the money and I'm going to pay you a portion of what you're making, what the company is helping you make. Let me stress this too. Listen to this. Well, it's not, you're not doing it alone. If I were to go to a commission situation and I was really dependent on the, or the salon was helping me to fill a chair that I know I couldn't fill on my own, then you know what? It's really not my money. It's our income that we're bringing in. The salon or the owner, really the salon, really, that's how I look at it. Because my salon is not named Raymond. It's called Rhythm. And Rhythm, I speak about Rhythm oftentimes as a real person. Rhythm has provided me, a tremendous amount. So I know that it is responsible for bringing in and continue to bring in my clientele. So it's really responsible for any artist in the salon to do that. So when a dollar is made to the business, here's where it gets misconstrued. The stylist does the work. So oftentimes the stylist may imagine or may view it as that's all my money, and I'm giving a portion back, or I'm giving whatever the cut is, whatever the split is, to the company, and they ain't do nothing. I ask you to reconsider that, man. I ask you to really sit down and think about what it took to do the client. It took products, it took utilities, it took know-how, it took marketing, it took a lot of things that honestly you got to ask yourself, did you provide? And when you feel like you're able to provide that, somebody say, well, I brought them in. Well, did you bring them in consistently every day, all day? When you're able to do that, then yeah, go look for a booth. But don't be presumptuous, or don't be premature and jump the gun into thinking you're able to do that by yourself, and you're not. And if you're not able to do that, don't think foolish thoughts like I'm doing it all myself. It's more than just the talent. We got a Fortune 500 company here in Columbus. Now the people are doing the work at Aflac, but are they bringing the clients? Are they bringing the business? I just bought a salad. Somebody made the salad, but did they make me come to the business? They made it. Somebody said, I did all the work. I mean, you made the salad, you made the sandwich, but did you make me go buy it? Did you make me continue to come back? No. Did you provide the register, the supplies, the materials, the cutting board? No, you didn't do that. You didn't do that. Now you can, and that would be, instead of me going to buy a sandwich, you know what I'm saying, or me making a sandwich in a restaurant, me owning a sandwich shop. That's different. But until you're able to do that, I'm telling you, you need to sit under somebody else's umbrella, man, because it's easy to get wet out here, dude. And you'll find yourself doing inferior work, inferior products, and inferior working conditions instead of seeing the power of working together. That's all I'm saying.